Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Galactic Gamer podcast. More importantly, welcome to the first of 8 episodes, hopefully, with all my friends here. Let's start down the list. Braden, welcome back.
Hi.
Dylan, welcome back.
Yo.
And you guys know the drill. Ian and Boynes, welcome back.
Hi, guys.
It was good.
Now, this is going to be fun to talk about. We all hate this company, so I'm happy we all get a chance to shit on them for once in my life. Ubisoft is officially lost their freaking minds. According to a statement that's been released by their CEO, he's blaming the gamers that they have too extraordinary expectations for their video games. And that's why Star Wars Outlaws failed. Make that make sense? We're not even an hour, we're not even 2 minutes in, and I have to say that. Like, can someone please help me on why that would make sense?
On why Star Wars Outlaws failed?
Not even that. Why is the guy blaming his consumers?
I mean, it's the consumer's fault. What can I say?
That, and it's also like, we're paying how much? Like, is it $70 for Star Wars Outlaws, I think?
Yeah.
Give me a second. All that money over.
Yeah, like we're paying 70 some. Ryan's already on the way to confirm that number. Let's say 70. Then,
Yep.
yeah, it's 70. Damn.
Hang
So
on.
if we're paying $70 to play a video game, I expect it to be fucking good. Not a glitchy mess. At least when this happened with Cyberpunk, it was Project Red. They owned up to it, and they made it better. They didn't blame the gamers and said, hey, screw you, almost.
Here we go.
Yeah? What's
$69.99.
Ooh.
So $70.
So, yeah, $70, give or take, if you don't want to include tax. But,
Give or take a couple cents.
Ian, I had to ask you this. Was Star Wars even necessary?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know what the game is. I don't know what it's about. They should have just stuck to what is it called? The
Battlefront
it's
games.
yeah, those.
That
Stick
and,
to those, nothing else.
Didn't there,
Tom
wasn't there a
Clancy's
controversy with
Ghost Recon.
oh, what was that? Shit, Ryan. There's a lot of people in this call.
They're
Ryan,
fine.
I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I don't know. Ubisoft's normally associated with the Tom Clancy series, whether it's Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's The Division. That's their
Fortnite.
mainstay.
Yeah, like that's their mainstay.
Yes, Fortnite.
Assassin's Creed. That brings me up to another
true.
point. Do we think, like, this was a big story that's been going around. They delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows to February, I think mid-February, give or take.
25.
Yeah, 2025. And, like, I don't see a date here. I just see pushback 2025, so I'm assuming, let's just say mid-February is a wild guess. Now, do we think that's as a response of we need to make sure this is okay? Like, almost so we don't have another back-to-back-to-back failure kind of type of situation? Let's go around the room here. Dylan, what about you?
I think they were scared.
Really? You think they're
Yeah, I
scared
think they were
of
scared.
like, just release it as is?
Well, their last game, Loki, flopped, and the day after, like, they announced the pushback, they announced the new Ghost of Tsushima games. Like, I think I got scared.
I can see why Ghost of Tsushima 2 would be a big factor of, like, well, if that's coming out. But at the same time, you have to argue if that's coming out, Ghost 2 is coming out 2025. Why release Shadows in 2025? Like, that's weird. Like, it's going to be definitely a weird time. It also depends on when Ghost 2 comes out next year. But what I think is hysterical is looking into this, they had to launch an internal investigation. because they were back-to-back flops, and now the board, this is the direct quote, wants to make a more player-centric approach. Shouldn't that be your main concept, all in all? Can someone...
I strongly agree.
Like, the fact that it needs to... Like, they're going to feudal Japan. That was, for Assassin's Creed, that was the dream scenario for every single Assassin's Creed player. At least from what I can remember. They finally do it at the most convenient time for them. When everything is failing, they decide to pull the trigger on that. Am I the only one that finds that a little bit suspicious?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
A teeny bit.
Just a tiny bit. And this is what I want to go on a rant. If this was a solo episode, I'd be on a rant for 40 minutes. But we're all here, so I'm not going to go on a little bit of a rant. I'll try to let you guys talk. But the fact that they are doing all this, they are basically saying, what can we do to get your trust back, isn't a good sign. That is not a good sign in the slightest. And I still think it's hysterical that the fact that they made it a major game. Like, it was that Star Wars Outlaws is a AAA game. And it flopped. Well, I don't know if it flopped. I'd be curious to see what the sales were. All I know is I know the stocks are falling. So let's say it did flop. I'm going to go off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Star Wars that's flopping. Skull and Bones, whatever it's called. Is that even still around? Or was that this? Were they taken offline?
I think it's still online. I don't even know.
No, I think it's on. I think it's free now, though.
Is it
Yeah,
free now? If it's free
I
now,
think it's free now.
yeah.
Okay, split.
Yeah, I mean, let's play Sea of Thieves. Like, come on, it's the much better game.
I think some Jack Sparrow.
But
Yeah.
I can play with cars, bro. I'm good.
yeah, it's just like the fact that they're willing to say, "Oh, well, they want to have extraordinary experiences." No shit. That's why it's called gaming. We want to get away from the outside world. The outside world is chaos. Can we just have a little peace? But in all honesty, I think this is a shitty sign on Ubisoft's end, that the fact that they're going to be like, oh, well, we're going to delay one of the most popular titles of all time, for at least our biggest franchise, because Star Wars Outlaws failed. Like, I don't know about you guys, but at least to me, that sounds a little bit fishy.
Do you think they're going into panic mode and they're worried that it's going to flop like the other games?
I do. I think with the latest rumors coming around that they're taking out a protagonist, even though it's like 3 months away from being done. It's a little bit late for that to happen, but from what apparently the rumor is that Yasuke is one of the protagonists, and people are upset about it. I don't know why. I'm not going into the research.
Because he's black?
Is it?
No,
is
I
that
think... No.
Well, we can go into it.
Does someone know this
black.
background? Because
No. In like actual history, he was never a samurai.
but in the game he's a samurai.
But in the game, he is. Yeah.
So that's the reason why they.
Yeah, that's why people are mad, because like he's not really a samurai. But
Bro, they got magic staffs and shit. Why do they care?
I don't know. It's Twitter, bro. Why are they mad about anything?
No, it's X. Gotta be careful. We don't want Elon canceling us.
I will never say that.
Yeah, neither will I. That was my one time.
X is a different website.
But yeah, here we go. In 3 months is not a time that you cannot replace a damn protagonist. You're gonna need a miracle. The only reason why I can see them saying that they're gonna replace it is if they announce it's delayed till holiday of 2025. That would be a realistic time where I can see them pulling Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where you could choose the gender of like who your character is. You know what I'm talking about? Like how they did with Odyssey and everything.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Did you have an idea? You said.
No, I have an idea of what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I had
all.
it. But
No.
Like, I'm very curious to see what the projected sales were. Like, I hate that the fact that they won't release those numbers. Like, if you're gonna blame gamers, you should at least tell us what your projected sales were.
Oh, here we go. I got you.
I was gonna buy it, so.
Which one?
So
Shadows or Outlaws?
Shadows.
I'm buying Shadows. I think I'm going to just because I've always wanted a feudal Japan game. And the gameplay looks amazing.
Okay, so fellas, I have some numbers here that you'd probably want to hear.
Yeah, hit me with
It
it.
has to do with year-old Star Wars Outlaws. So from the tail end of August of this past year until this very point, only 1 million copies have been sold.
Ouch.
So let's do 1 million copies times $69.99. Let's just round up to $70. This game has only made $70 million. And for comparison,
What was
Tom
its budget?
Clancy's The Division.
Do you know what the budget was?
Between 200 and 300 million.
Wow.
You
So
barely
they didn't
make.
Well,
It's-
they did make the budget back
Got a
because
movie
of
budget.
pre-orders.
Okay, now that's just confirming first month sales. And for comparison, I'm just going to throw another Ubisoft game in there. Tom Clancy's The Division, in its first week alone, made 300 million.
Wow.
Essentially made back its budget and
Type
then
shit.
some.
And the Division ended up
That's
being
all
terrible
in the first
too.
week.
That's insane.
The Division was fine.
I
I didn't play that much of it. I just played it at a buddy's house, but I heard it was fine. It wasn't groundbreaking or anything.
Yeah, I think what it was at the time was a good idea, just poor execution. Like, if they were to try it again, maybe they'd get it right. But I would trust it with a different
Yeah.
company. Like,
Easily.
I think this is what sucks with Ubisoft, is that anytime you see Ubisoft on a trailer, everybody's going to instantly just go, well, shit, this game sucks. And they've had such a shit stain on their reputation now that you can't trust them. And Ian, you said it best. They might be in panic mode.
I think so, yeah.
And I think that's what sucks. And I'm going to bring it up in another episode that we have. Like, I'm going to bring it up in the gaming tropes episode we might do it down the line. Or if I do it by myself, I'll do it by myself. I don't know what you guys have planned today. But, yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of stuff that's going around that you look at Ubisoft and you can guarantee they're going to get into the live service game eventually. That's going to happen. So imagine you combine live service with Ubisoft. No one's going to touch that. It might go down faster than Concord.
Damn. Low blow.
And that's me saying it as a fan of Concord.
Hell.
Might be the only fan.
Yeah. No, there's apparently
Wait,
some
say that again.
fun fact.
Only fan.
Oh, God. He said it. But, in all honesty, yeah, like, this is the one thing that confuses me with Ubisoft is you make a flop, which is, let's say, Skull and Bones, which flopped. You would think your next game was going to be like, we're going to make this fucking amazing. Then you make another flop. The first thing you say is we're blaming it on our fans. And this is... I'm surprised Dylan didn't chime in here yet, because I feel like that was a perfect layup, but okay. Now, Braden, what do you think? Do you think that this is just them going into panic mode and wanting to delay everything?
Yep.
And you don't have, are you just going to say yep, or do you have any more to say on that?
That's all I got.
Alright, that's fine, we can work with that. Alright, Dylan, you weren't here for the Arcane episode, so I want to get you on this. Do you think
Okay.
this is them going into panic mode? And for the love of God, I'll give you a decent amount of dialogue from you.
Wait, how's this deal with Arcane?
Oh, no, I was just saying you weren't here for the previous episode, so I want to get you some more time on this episode.
What?
In short, you weren't here for the last episode, so we're going to get you to talk this episode. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm getting him to talk. So, no, this is what I'm asking. Do you agree with Ian that this is them being in panic mode and just like trying to figure out where they're standing in the gaming industry right now?
Yeah, they're scared and broke, and no one will play their games. So they gotta try now.
I didn't even think about that. They gotta try. Man, that's harsh. Wow. I'm surprised no one said it yet, but yeah, you're right. I am not saying anyone say it. Ubisoft officially has to try. It goes back to that episode we did on the Game Awards. Iron sharpens iron. Ian, you said it like that, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that Ubisoft doesn't have a challenge, like it's almost like the Madden thing, where there's nobody to challenge them so they don't have to get better. It sucks. And they're going to keep flopping. And for the love of God, I think Assassin's Creed won't flop because they're going to feudal Japan. And I think that's why they probably want to do that game justice. And if that game flops, they probably are going out of business. I said it last year. Last year or 2 years ago, that Xbox won't make another console because they have so many games going on and PlayStation's light years ahead of them. Like the PS5 Pro already outdoes the Xbox Series. Or whatever the new Xbox generation is called. But, Ryan, I want to bring this up to you. Do you think, because you were there for that episode, I think you were even in it. Do you think...
Gaming Awards? I was
not,
there, yeah.
Yeah, not the Gaming Awards. The one when I said that Xbox won't make it to the console. Do you think that's going to be the case now because all their games are going to PS5?
I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It's tough in this new market, especially if you're looking to license a game to a certain console or have it be exclusive. It's tough, especially with PS5 snapping up all the rights to big, like you said, AAA game studios, franchises. If this keeps going the way it is, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to say Xbox it's on its last legs. That's all I'm going to say.
I only bring it up like this because I think if Ubisoft fails here, they have to sell their company. And that is literally the only way I see them getting out of this, is because if this investigation reveals that, because there is an internal investigation, I don't know what they're looking for. It's not like they're purposely throwing money away.
No,
but
they're looking for a source.
Maybe they're looking for people that are just not trying, just trying to collect a paycheck. What do you guys think? I want to hear from all of you. What are they looking for in this investigation?
I feel like a big game company has to do an internal investigation into some of their developers and stuff. It's got to be about whether the product they're putting out is up to par with what the board thinks is what the people will want. So I think this whole internal investigation really is just for them looking for. It's like them cleaning house. They see that sales aren't doing well, so they'll go to certain developers that were working on these said games that are flopping, and they will either boot them or say, hey, this is your last chance. If you do this again, you're out of a job.
Which, that leads me into a whole different topic that I'm going to do a solo episode about in November, which is the layoffs. But if we go down that controversy, then we'll be here all night.
Yep.
Mm.
That's just a sad.
I found the
fact of
article
life.
about. The internal investigation.
Yeah, I'm reading one too, and they said the fact that the investigation aims to find ways on how projects are being run. So makes it, I guess, Ubisoft
And this
Montreal and everybody else is under investigation as well. It's not just the board.
Clearly, everybody.
Which, yeah, that's going to be fun to see. I really want to see how this plays out. Because it's about time
Also,
Ubisoft gets, like, at least some backlash. I don't remember the last time they had
Absolutely.
any.
Well, okay. I was gonna bring something up about my stance on this whole them pushing games back and stuff. I'm looking at this from like, I guess like a PR kind of side of things because I'm like I don't want to say I'm in tune with social media, but like I look at things from like certain points of view. If I'm Ubisoft and I'm seeing a game that isn't even doing a third of its budget, of course I'd push games back and do an internal investigation because
Where
something's
did we
clearly
go
going wrong. Exactly. Where did we go wrong? And we're clearly doing something wrong. But then the thing that also baffles me is the fact they came out and they're blaming this on the player base and not the developers, not the marketing. Hell, I wouldn't even blame it on the marketing. The marketing, they had plenty.
They had
of
a lot of
marketing. It's
marketing.
just-
It was a lot of marketing was on Steam too.
Steam, YouTube, TVs, like
Yeah,
just
you
regular
really could.
television.
Yeah, it was a decent amount of marketing. Like it's not
They
a
hit it home
Borderlands
with
situation.
marketing. No. Don't even mention that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we all wasted our time there.
But like I said, I'm looking at this through a lens of like someone working for their PR team. Like I said, if we're seeing stuff isn't going right, of course we're going to want to get shit right and push games back to make sure everything's fine and tuned, bugs are taken care of, make sure it's perfect for what the public is expecting from us and what the board is expecting from us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went on a little rant.
No, you're fine, and that's what I think is hysterical is what the public is expecting from them is a decent game, not what they've been giving us the past decade.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. I had a decent point made, and then it completely slipped my mind. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. Like I said, the only Ubisoft game I don't even put time into that game anymore. I used to play a boatload of Rainbow Six Siege back when code was still a thing.
W game.
Yes.
W game, indeed.
True.
Drink Call of W game.
I'll get a game.
Like I just need to get my hands on my copy of Rainbow Six, which is still back in my crib. But no, like I would put hours into that game with online matches, story mode, and I would say I would have genuinely fun. Like it's something like I could pop into for like an hour or two and just not think. But
until you
I
decide
don't
to
know,
throw
just seeing
the controller through a wall.
yes.
Yeah, until
Then at that
happens.
point, I'm gonna throw my controller out the wall. But no, I don't know. Just seeing the fall Ubisoft has had the last 3-4 years,
It needs to be studied.
it has to be studied because I would say their peak was whenever they were getting people to hop back on Rainbow Six over COVID. They're releasing new Far Cry games.
That's the only thing that they're saving
seeing
grace right now is Far Cry. And even then, I haven't heard a lot on their end on Far Cry.
I think
the last time we heard of it was Far Cry 6, right?
Yep, October 7th of 2021.
Wow.
They haven't released any other Far Cry game in the last 3 years. And the only reason people got talking about that game was because how good it was and the certain voice acting talent they brought in.
Story.
And a decent story. And like I said, voice acting talents of one Giancarlo Esposito. But I'll go on that for another hour.
Yeah.
But
oh, go ahead.
No, but it's like I feel like that's when they like stopped trying because they knew they hit that plateau of like, oh, we can get this good. Why not just keep doing this, if not a little less? Because it clearly the public is buying and eating this up.
Almost like the type of, hey, here's how much effort we got to put into it.
Yes, they set the bar and they haven't even exceeded it.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. What I wanted to say is, the reason why Far Cry I don't think has picked up is because I don't think they needed to pick it up. But now they're going to have to look at their lineup and say, what can we dust off that might save us? If we're going to...
Like pulling something out of the vault, yeah.
And I think Far Cry might be their first option. You can't be Tom Clancy. They already have Siege being supported for a very long time. Now, Brayden, can you think of any games from Ubisoft? Because I honestly cannot besides Far Cry.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Don't they have Just Cause?
Oh, Just Cause. Don't get me started. Those are great games. Wait, did they make those
Just
games?
Cause.
I think so.
There's no way Ubisoft made Just Cause. I have it on my Steam library. I'm gonna double check.
Watch Dogs.
Hang on.
Watch Dogs was
They
such
did
a
do
good
Watch
game.
Dogs.
Yep. And they
You can
did
do For Honor.
Rayman. I need a new Rayman game.
Yeah, they did.
That'd be lit.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah,
Hold on.
it shows that they have a plethora of games, but the fact that they don't want to put time into it, it's like, okay, yeah, have fun and investigating, but the fact that you just want to make a more player-centric approach, it ain't gonna change shit. You're gonna have another flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can investigate all you want. If it looks like a piece of shit, it smells like a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. So, that's what Ubisoft is right now. And I hate to say it, but this might be it for them if Shadows doesn't do well. I make the joke that Nintendo could go bankrupt now and they'd buy their way out of it just by what they have in their vault alone, and I still stick to that joke. Like, I'm sure the people that made Mario, if they could probably buy the end of the world, like they could probably buy like a spot to Mars. They could do whatever the fuck they want. Nintendo has that power because they made great games. Brady can attest to that. He's our Nintendo expert. But that's not what we have with Ubisoft. Ubisoft is they're trying to stay afloat. And we never thought we'd see Activision Blizzard get sold off. And they did. With like a huge, big name tag. Like, I feel like Ubisoft might have to throw their hands in the air and say, hey, if we can't get this going, it might be time to at least throw our name out there. See if anyone wants to bite. What do you guys think? Do you think Ubisoft selling is an opportunity to get them back?
I hope
Kinda
so.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be
And then
pretty
PlayStation
interesting.
buys them. Down.
You think if PlayStation buys them, does it make a difference?
Yeah, they better developers and make better games. So
Yeah, bigger budgets and stuff.
If Microsoft buys it,
That's
okay.
right.
This is a good question for all you. We already said PlayStation buys them, they're better. What about if Microsoft buys them? Do you think they just go by the wayside because they have Bethesda and all them?
Yeah.
Like, do you think they just go down?
if I were them, I really look at PlayStation. They have better like track record. Like
They
more
do
recently.
better single player stuff. Microsoft's like multiplayer these days.
I think Microsoft is
Halo, Gears of War.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Microsoft. You're right, Ian. It's down that route of we know what we're sticking to, we know what works, and good on Microsoft. They figured out what works for them, and that's what they're going to stick to it. Like they tried Starfield, it didn't do well. So they stayed away from it. We know it doesn't work anymore. And they took a risk. Didn't work. Shit happens. That's what happens. Now, you look at PlayStation. I'm very curious to see what would happen with I almost said Stutter Blade because I'm playing that game. But I'm very curious to see what would happen with everything else. Because Microsoft, like you said, is a multiplayer company. They're not a single-player developer. You throw Spider-Man into Microsoft's hands.
Never.
Yeah.
Rather die.
You throw... I would say... I think it also goes to show that MLB The Show took... 15 years at least before they went to Microsoft? Like, that's saying a lot. And I just think that's the reason why you gotta start to consider maybe PlayStation is the better offer. Hell, even Xbox wants to know why they're not going over to them. They always go over to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, you just said it the best. They have better resources. If Ubisoft goes over, I think I agree with all you. I think their product value goes up. I think the stocks might take a bit of a hit. But, hey, you need to do what you need to do. But, like they said, oh, well, we want to bring back Guitar Hero from Microsoft. And then they make this stupid guitar that's for Fortnite.
Yeah, just play Fortnite.
Yeah, it's just like, let's play Fortnite. That's what we have for the Guitar Hero. Or I can dust off the PS3 and play it on there. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with that. I am convinced they just bought Activision Blizzard despite PlayStation. I think they even said Call of Duty in 5 years may not even be on PlayStation.
What?
Yeah. That's the rumor going around right now. I don't know how big of a rumor it is.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think if Call of Duty is not on PlayStation, then you lose a shitload of money. You lose a lot of your player base. Call of Duty will die. They thrive on being with PlayStation. That's why I hate exclusivity sales. Except of certain cases. Like Dylan, you said it best with Spider-Man. You don't want to have certain people touching certain things. But if you find a way that you can get it to work, do you think Spider-Man ever could work with Microsoft? Like if they did that multiplayer game that was supposed to come out?
Probably not.
Oh, like the multiverse Spider-Man game? That would have been so cool.
Well, they technically do though, because it's like on Steam.
Well, so apparently, I don't know if you guys saw this. A trailer got leaked out. It was supposed to be a standalone Spider-Man game that you could play as your own. Either you could build your own Spider-Person, and you could zip around New York and everywhere else that you could, or you could play as like Spider-Gwen and all them, and you could play with your friends. And the main villain was supposed to be Scarlet Witch.
What?
I
No wonder they scrapped that.
And they scrapped it because I think Spider-Man 2 came out and they didn't want to do all the resources. But the trailer still got out. And it showed like Spider-Man 2077 and Spider-Gwen. All of them are still there. Or Ghost Spider, depending if you want to read the comics. I think her name is Ghost Spider in the comics. But, yeah, like all of them are there. And I think Spider-Gwen being in the third game would be a cool idea. But we're not talking about that right now. I just think overall, this entire situation, it's not a good look with Ubisoft. Shadows needs to succeed. If Shadows doesn't succeed, they are done. That's the only way I see it. And also, since we have a shitload of episodes to record throughout the month of October, or at least I do. I want to keep this episode short. We're at 35 minutes. So let's go around the room. Final thoughts. Do we think... I'm actually going to ask 2 questions here. Ubisoft selling, yay or nay? And do we think they're in panic mode? That's why it got delayed. Yay or nay? Braden, let's start with you.
I'd say yay.
On both sides?
Yeah, yay on both sides.
Alright. Anything else you want to say before I move on?
I don't know, that's it.
Okay. Dylan, what about you? Yay or nay?
Yay. On both. I think in 5 years they sell it to PlayStation.
You think in 5 years they're gone? The PlayStation?
Yep. Give or take.
That's not a bad prediction. That's a decent timeline too, considering all the games that might come out on their end. Boynes, what about you?
At least for the first part of them selling, I think I'm going to agree with Drinkall. I think they're going to give it maybe 2-3 more years, and then they're going to see the writings on the wall, and they're going to sell out to
You
most
think
likely
2 or
PlayStation.
3? So you're not
I
even
think
getting
it's
it to
happening sooner.
2030.
'Cause-
That,
No.
that's insane.
I see them selling either a year or 2 after I graduate. So probably like 29, 28. The reason being is with the way their current situation is with one of their AAA titles not living up to expectations, and player bases are seeing that they're putting in sloppy effort, and the fact that they're now Ubisoft's turning on their player base and blaming them for their own mistakes. I don't know. I feel like I've seen this track record play out with so many other studios so many times, and even certain filming studios, if in terms of movies, I've seen this situation happen so many times that these companies can't take fault for their own actions. So you know what they do? They shift the blame to somebody else.
And
Hence, in this case, their player base.
that's fair. And what happens when you don't have a player base? Then you're just kind of screwed.
Exactly. You just got to pray for like newcomers to say, "Ooh, this game looks nice. Let me just pick it up and pay $70 fucking for it." Sorry, you know what I mean.
No, you're fine. I honestly,
I'm very.
I kind of
I'm very
lifted the
passionate right
F-bomb
now.
roll a long time ago. We all finally just said screw it. So, yeah, starting, I think probably in November, we're going to see it shift in the podcast rating. But, okay, Ian.
You to an NC-17 real quick.
Yeah, Ian, what about you? Yay or nay on them selling?
Well, I don't know if they will. Like, obviously, it's up to them at the end of the day. But I kind of hope they will. Because once you get bought by PlayStation, you're expected to put out way better content. Like, PlayStation's obviously going to help Ubisoft with, like, budgeting and, like, marketing and all that stuff. So, by them getting bought by PlayStation, like, their games are going to be better in general. But the quality, there's going to be less bugs on release. Assassin's Creed will be like really good games again. They can go back to their old games, like maybe they do a Splinter Cell or they do a Rayman or something like that. I think there's definitely room for, there's a lot of room for improvement from recent Ubisoft games. But I kind of hope that they get bought out just because I think the franchises that they have are really interesting. Like Assassin's Creed is cool, but like I just have not been keeping up within the past few years. So I kind of hope they get bought.
Yeah, and do you think, are they in panic mode?
Oh yeah, 100%. They saw that what's it called? Ghost of Tsushima 2 is coming out the same year as Assassin's Creed, and they're like, yeah, we're cooked. We need to delay it. We need to make sure our bugs are gone day one. We need to make sure it's a good game on release, because if it's buggy, they're going to make no money. People are just not going to buy it because they have competition next year.
That's fair. And I want to tell you what my thoughts are. My final thoughts is this. If Microsoft touches it, Ubisoft is bankrupt. They're gone. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Just like Concord.
Oh,
And I think Concord goes free to play in about maybe 2 years. I see that happening.
you
Realistically,
think Concord should have went to Microsoft?
I think Concord should have went to Microsoft, yes, because they're multiplayer based.
Yep, I agree.
I feel like they could have had a better marketing team on that end, but we're not talking about that right now. I think if Ubisoft goes to Microsoft, shit's going to hit the fan a lot faster than they think they're going to need to be. It goes to Sony, Sony PlayStation, like we all said, it's going to get better. They might get some player trust back, and that's a big thing for them. That's what they need right now. But do I think they're in panic mode? Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. They're screwed. You don't conveniently delay one of your top games that people have been anticipating since the beginning of the year right after your game gets flopped. It's not a coincidence. If you were to say a month before, hey, we think there's going to be some problems, we'll delay it. I can see where it's like, okay, it's just a shitty time. It's a coincidence there. No, this is them saying, oh shit, let's try to fix Outlaws before we go to Shadows. If you can fix Outlaws. So, I do think you're alright. They're in panic mode. And yes, you're alright. They sell. I think in 5 years. I'm with Dylan here. 5 years is a realistic timeline. I don't think 2 and 3. If they're lucky, they sell in 6. But no matter what, I think you do have to sell. So, does anyone else have anything to say, or should we end it here?
I think we said all we needed to say. You had good final points, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good final points. So, let's end the episode here. I am Jacob, also known as your Epileptic Gamer. Braden, say goodbye.
Bye.
Dylan, you may say goodbye now.
See you later.
And Ian and Ryan, bring us home. Say goodbye.
See ya.
Later, y'all.
There he is. I thought your mic broke again. But, yeah, that is it for this episode, everybody. We will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.